Welcome to The Flight, a consumable curation of champions and catastrophes that is considerate of your chronometer. It's me, Chris, and I'm here with Shane to give you another list of our top fives of something that our patrons gave us to talk about. Isn't that right, Shane?
It's an interesting way to put it, but yes, we got there. Yes. So the patrons, we're hitting them up with polls all the time. So many polls.
They love polls.
It's like a strip club around here.
Woo!
And they're voting on these. So you know what? If you want to be a part of that, you too can become a patron, and then you can tell us what to talk about on these top lists. And like I said on the first one, I think based on what I've seen so far, they're going to get weird. So if you're into that, then boy, do we have a treat for you.
There is potential. There certainly is potential.
There is.
Speaking of patrons, thank you to our newest patrons, the Retro Vixen and William Cage. Your donations are greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. You guys rock. Also, thank you to Tony G for upgrading to the HD tier. We are anticipating a new era of tyranny and evil in our patron polls. So we look forward to that. Thank you, Tony G.
Yes, that's right. A dark storm cloud rolls over the horizon, and it's vaguely Tony G-shaped.
Tony G-shaped. Wait.
Take that however you will.
All right. So I will kick off this week's topic. And this week's topic is our top 5 JRPG weapons we wish we would have a replica of if we could afford it.
Also, before we jump into the list, I would just like to note that I 100% disagreed with the restrictive nature of this list. I preferred it be just RPGs in general, because I had a lot of really good ideas for some of these things that I wanted to include on this list, but they were all Western RPG items. And so according to the rules, I could not. So I was bummed about that, but that's fine. Maybe we'll do another list later.
I liked the restrictiveness. It made me use my imagination. So
I mean, also I feel like this was just easier for you.
Probably. I think you'll be surprised by my answer.
Oh, okay.
Number 5.
My number 5 pick is going to be the Sword of Legend from Final Fantasy IV. That is the sword you get when Cecil turns into a paladin. And the reason I want this is, first of all, Cecil is awesome, and he is the protagonist in my favorite Final Fantasy game. And if you had a sword that was a replica, it would have to have the inscription of the entire legend that's on there, the one that starts with "One to be born of a dragon." So I'd want to see it, and it's like really nice font, maybe a little bit of Elvish, like in Lord of the Rings. Just have that maybe on the hilt or on the blade itself. I think that would be badass. That would take a lot of craftsman work, and I think, that would be a little cool art piece to display in my house. And so there it is. My number 5 is the Sword of Legend from Final Fantasy IV.
Nice. Yeah, so mine is also a Final Fantasy item. Go figure. I feel like that's probably not the last time that's going to happen. But my number 5 is going to be sort of a collective one. It is Lulus Dolls from FF10. And I picked that one because how could you not like them? They're cute little Moogles, and like a little chibi onion knight and cactars, and basically they're one step away from the collector shit you'd probably have on your shelf anyway. So, they make a nice little display piece. I would like to have little cute FF dolls, so that's why I picked that one.
Go fuck yourself.
What? Why?
Number 4.
My number 4 are Lulus Dolls.
Well, all right then.
So, wow, I think that might be a unanimous one. Well, it is a unanimous one because there's only us two. So,
as far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Lulus Dolls are awesome. I would personally prefer, if I could only have one, to be the Onion Knight.
That's
because
fair.
it's a reference to Final Fantasy III. But you can't deny a Moogle. You can't deny a Cactar. You can't deny any of the dolls, really, because they are amazing. So, while you're enjoying the character that is Lulu for all of her huge assets of personality.
Yes, huge tracts of land, as they say.
Huge tracts of land. The twin brains that provide tons of thought inside of her head, of course.
Of course,
Lulu's Dolls are my number 4. And Lulu is a great character, too. All the joking aside, I do like Lulu. She puts up with a lot of shit. And she has to deal with a blitzball playing racist.
Also true. For like a half a second, I almost put the blitzball on my list just as a joke, but I thought better of it.
Right, because that's called a volleyball.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And I love blitzball. So,
all right, well, my number 4 is Cupel. And if you're not familiar with that, that is Fina's Silver Moonstone companion from Skies of Arcadia. And I chose this because I kind of think of Cupel as kind of like a multi-tool, right? Cupel's ability to sort of like morph into pretty much any solid object would just be like really useful around the house. You know, if I'm like, man, where's my kitchen knife? I can't find it. I'd be like, Cupel, get over here. Boom, I have a kitchen knife. It's like, man, I could really use a Phillips head screwdriver right now. Cupel, boom, screwdriver. Like, he'd just be really utilitarian. And also, Cupel's cute, so that's a plus.
you can make him barf, too.
You can. That's true. I don't know if that's a plus, but it's a thing you can do.
Number 3.
All right, my number 3 is the Monado Blade from Xenoblade Chronicles. Nothing really special here. It does make you see the future, but then again, this is a replica. I do think the Monado Blade has a cool design to it. It would be multifunctional. It would move around. It's very mechanical, which I guess makes sense in the overarching story of considering it's Bionis versus robots. So I guess a half robot sword makes sense. But yeah, I love the design of the Monado. And again, it's because I love Xenoblade as a game. And it's, I don't know, I wouldn't call it unique by any chance, but I do think it's iconic. So I'll leave it at that. Just really nothing more than I want one.
Well, that's actually interesting because that's a pretty similar rationale for my number 3, actually.
Nice.
So mine is the Moonlight Greatsword from Dark Souls. And yes, it's a JRPG because From Software is a Japanese development company. Fucking fight me. So I picked the Moonlight Greatsword for a couple of reasons. One, it's just fucking awesome. If you're not familiar with it, it is this like icy blue colored translucent greatsword, and it just looks fucking badass, and also it glows. And the other part of it is that it's sort of a through line through pretty much all of the Souls games. Like the Moonlight Greatsword makes an appearance in some form or fashion in every Souls game, including Elden Ring. So it's kind of like a running theme. And like I said, it's just cool. Like it'd be something that I would totally want like mounted on a wall or like over a mantle if I had a fucking mantle, So that's really the only reason, because I like Dark Souls and it's just a really awesome looking weapon.
Number 2.
So my number 2 is Althena's Sword from the Luna series. From the, Lunar. I said Luna. I need an R on there. It's from the Lunar series. So
Maybe you're from
it's
Boston.
In the first one. The Luna series.
I like that sword from the Luna series.
Yeah. I just like the overall design of it. I like the fact that it is a key piece of your equipment. In Lunar, obviously, it makes the entire transition into being a Dragon Master as Alex complete. And if I got one of those things, hopefully I could get the rest of the set so I could cosplay and scare children in my neighborhood with my Eastern European getup and just run around and saying, "Yar, I have dragons." It'd be like King George running around in the field swinging his sword at nothing. So I would love to have Althena's Sword, a replica, so I can just cosplay as Alex in my suburban neighborhood.
Well, speaking of key pieces of equipment, my number 2 is the Kingdom Key from Kingdom Hearts. Now,
I thought you already had that.
yeah, I do. I was going to get to that.
Oh.
So yes, I already have it. Thank you for fucking spoiling it, Chris. But yes, we're big enough fucking Kingdom Hearts nerds that my wife and I have Sora's Keyblade and Kyrie's Keyblade mounted on the wall in our bedroom as decoration. And that's part of the reason that I picked it. It's part of the reason that it's at my number 2 also. It's just because we're generally pretty fond of that series. And I would totally be down for getting more of them. I actually try to make a point of going to Spirit Halloween when they fucking resurrect themselves from the corpse of like a Sears or whatever, and get whatever the newest Keyblades are, because for a while they've been making those. And honestly, they're actually pretty well made for what they are. I mean, they're plastic, but they look pretty nice, and they're like full size. So there's still a couple more I need to get. But I would just go with the Kingdom Key, I guess, because it's probably the most iconic one. So that is my number 2.
Number 1.
All right, we're at the number 1, and Shane's probably going to get mad at me for this. And you are too, listener. But
I can't
technically,
wait.
in my mind, this is a Japanese RPG. And I just don't want the replica. I want the whole kit and caboodle. I want the Suzuki Escudo Pikes Peak Edition from Gran Turismo. Give me that fucking car. I'm driving it down everywhere. I'm going off-roading. I'm going down 295. I'm getting stuck and sitting there for 15 minutes on Blanding. I am living and loving life with the Suzuki Escudo Pikes Peak Edition from Gran Turismo.
You picked a car?
Yes. It slays the competition.
How does that count as an RPG?
What do you think? You drive around. It's like active time battles. You earn experience in the form of cash.
Oh my God, this is such bullshit.
Once you get enough cash, you can upgrade your car and equip it with various different things through the experience that you've gained. And then once you've gained enough experience, you can change your play style by choosing another car and then just upgrading your active time battle. And you get to different levels by earning licenses.
Wow. It's
an RPG.
Went really far for that one. All right, you know what?
It's an RPG.
The level of effort, I guess I have to give it to you on that, but I don't know. Seems suspect to me, but all right.
I want a fucking Escudo.
Fine, take your fucking car. All right, well,
taking it.
My number 1 actually is a weapon from an actual JRPG, and it is it's Angelo, Renoa's dog from FF8. Because he's a fucking best boy. And why would you not want a dog who you can lob at your enemies and explode on impact, and also can go and find you cool shit while you're sleeping? He is the bestest of boys, and therefore he is my number 1.
But you have to shove your hand up its ass to use it, though.
No, you do not. He sits on your arm like a big furry falcon, and then he launches off.
From your fist.
It's like from your wrist, you know? She's got like a wrist launcher thing. That's what's happening there, I'm pretty sure. Or what I'm gonna go with.
In the dog bum.
Point being is that he is a bestest boy, and he deserves the number 1 spot.
Can't argue with that. And it should be mentioned for an honorable mention, the Gunblade, because I think everyone was thinking one of us was going to say that, but we didn't.
It was on my list actually for a little bit, and then I did some reconfiguring and it dropped off, but it was there. I'm actually surprised that neither one of us like actually had that.
Yeah, I was in the same situation you were. I dropped it off, and now it's probably getting more time than any of these items. So.
All right. Well, there it is. Our personal top 5 JRPG weapons that we would like to have in our homes. We never necessarily made any guarantees about, length of these flight episodes. They kind of however they naturally flow. Some will probably be shorter than others. Some things will probably rant about longer than others. But I think this one was pretty straightforward. So, I think we're kind of just we're wrapping things up succinctly this time.
If you want longer episodes, blame the patrons. Tell them to choose better topics and vote on better ones.
That's right. Or, just take it upon yourself as a civic duty and become a patron, and then cast your own polls and fix the problem yourself.
Maybe it's not a problem. Maybe they like shorter episodes.
Or that. Who knows? But at any rate, that's going to be us for this one. So if you are listening to this, then you're already here, and we're glad that you are. If you would like to engage with us in some other ways, you can certainly do that. And as of right now, although this, I will say at the time of this recording, this may be subject to change sometime in the future, but for the time being, you can simply go to linktree/retro-hangover, and you will have a nice little menu of buttons, and you can be whisked away to whatever RHP related place you would like to go, whether that's our public Discord, yeah, or our brand new minted NFTs of Gorp the Dick Dragon. Oh, God.
No, absolutely not. That's just a joke.
Yeah, please now. So anyway, yeah, the public Discord, if you want to jump in there, that's where we have all our fun discussions, our monthly high score challenges for retro games, things like that. If you'd like to support the show as a patron or buy some sweet merch, you can do that from there as well as check out our socials and the YouTube and the Twitch channels, which Chris will tell you a little bit more about.
Yeah, go to twitch.tv/retrohangover, and we will be streaming stuff on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard U.S. time. And yeah, maybe I'm playing Lunar, speaking of that game, but we'll be playing the second one. We'll be playing part, 528, and I look forward to that.
Yeah, and lately I am using our stream Sunday as an excuse to get through some of my Steam backlog, so there you go. Come check that out.
Right.
Some of it's probably going to be fucking terrible, like Roar.
Yep. Roar!
But at any rate, with all of that being said, until next time.
Play with your My Number One is actually the Wanzer from Front Mission joysticks.